What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park ENT. You know what it is. I hope you all enjoyed your holiday, your weekends, the whole week. I hope you were productive, got some things done, and got to spend some time with some family and whatnot. I know I did myself. It was a very busy week. I had two family Thanksgivings and then like a Friendsgiving type thing. So a lot of food. I feel like I gained a couple lbs, but it was great. It was a really good time spending a lot of quality time with family, both on my side and my wife's side. So I had a great time. I hope you did as well. I actually just finished off the last of our leftovers last night. I was like definitely I hadn't tried not to eat them for like 2 or 3 days, but finally I just finished them off and they were still good. But it was kind of good because I took a couple of days off. You know, that Thanksgiving food is just so heavy. Like, you immediately want to fall asleep. It's great stuff. But still, excuse me. I actually just housed 2 PB&Js right before I started recording this podcast. So, shout out to PB&Js. I'm still all about that life. I don't know about you. I'll just ask it. You can leave your comment below. I go with the strawberry jelly. What do you choose? That's what I like to say. That's my poll question for today. What kind of jelly you use on your PB&Js, motherfuckers? But it is a beautiful Thursday. As I'm recording this, we are on a game day, a Bears game day, as the Bears play the Cowboys tonight here in Chicago. So I'm excited about that. So we got a bunch of fun stuff to head into. It's going to be a solo episode as per usual. We'll probably get some new interviews here going in a little bit. But as I had mentioned, there's going to be some office change up for me and my wife are going through some, we're going to have to be moving and doing some things here. So it's going to be a process. So with that being said, it's a little harder to get interviews in and get everything scheduled. It's easier for me to get these good sports episodes out and keep it going in that route. But I definitely do want to get more interviews back going as maybe after the football season, maybe after we get through these weekly picks and stuff like that. But speaking of the interview stuff, if you remember Evan, he's the last person I had on, Evan Price. He runs Artist Collective. It's a like music management type company. They give out a lot of like tips and advice for young artists, and they book people. They do a lot of awesome stuff, and you can go listen to the episode to hear that. But I just listened to, he has these industry chats he does all this time. I'm a member of their VIP group, so I get to hear these talks. But if you follow him on Instagram, you can hear him whenever. But yesterday I was listening to this good one he had with this artist from Nashville, Nate Rose, who I actually met once at one of their shows. But he's a pretty successful artist, got a lot of plays. But he gives out a lot of good Spotify, like DIY Spotify tips. And so I went through that last night and listened to a lot of that good advice. I'm trying to catch all this, soak up all this knowledge, and utilize it for my career as well as we have music out there. And this will lead me right into the housekeeping that I'm going to do. All I'm going to do really is Passion Park type ads today. None of our affiliates. But on my Spotify page, it would be clutch for anybody who listens to me to make sure they're following me on Spotify as well, if you use Spotify, because that follow button is really important. It makes sure that you get my music on your release radar playlist when that comes out, and then all my new records show up on there, and that just helps things. It helps the algorithms for Spotify. So if you could just follow, that would mean a lot to me. My Plane, which is my most recent song, is doing pretty well out there right now, and I'm pretty happy as far as streams go. A lot of people are playing it. So let's keep that going. I really appreciate it. Last week I had a fun time performing that for the first time at Uncommon Ground. So that was a great time. I want to thank everybody who came out to that show. I just posted a recap video last night, or yesterday, should I say. So that's on our YouTube channel. Check it out if you want to see some of my performance. My Plane, I posted like half of that song that I performed. It was a good time. As I mentioned before, it's a small room, so we didn't have a huge crowd. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 3/4 full or something like that, 3/5 full. It was a good crowd, but not. Everybody who was there, the energy was awesome. I appreciate everybody. It was beautiful. We didn't get to that sellout point that I was hoping for, that I had talked about, but that's okay. That's another goal we're working at. I want to start, I want to be able to sell out a show. I want to be able to say that my name headlines the bill and we sell out a show. That's important to me as far as a goal that's going to happen hopefully here soon. That means I got to do a better job getting people aware about the shows, getting people just out. I gotta do a better job. Everything, it just gotta happen in time. It will. So, but I'm really appreciative to everybody who got to come out. It means a lot to me. Yeah, so if you go to www.thedavidlopez.com, that's where you're gonna find all my music stuff, my tour dates, my biography, my all my new music. Right on that front page, there's always new music, and there's always gonna be a pre-save link for the next song, which is gonna lead me to this new announcement. I'm actually gonna announce this on Instagram tomorrow. But if you listen to this episode, you get a little, nice little plug. My song that's coming out this month for December comes out on December 20th. The pre-save link is on my website on the homepage. It is called Call Me, and it is featuring Drumlord. It is awesome. It is I believe it's a hit. It's a radio record. I'm very, very excited about it. We have had it for a couple months now, and we're excited to release it. If you're familiar with my catalog, then you're definitely familiar with Drumlord because we've done a lot of work together. Lonely Days, one of my biggest songs, that's with him, and then Fly Away, Fastlane, One Hit he produced. I Got a Feeling is another one where that's on So Much More Too. So done a lot of work with Drumlord. I want to say shout out to him. He's the man. He's super talented. So we're excited to release that to you guys. So that is the big announcement. So please pre-save. And actually, when you do pre-save any of my songs, I believe you automatically follow me on Spotify, which is a pretty clutch thing. But doesn't hurt to do it again or whatever. Well, either way, I would really appreciate that and that support. And then if you want to find out more about just our career, what we got going on here, what Passion Park is, what it's about, go to passionparkent.com. Actually on our front page, for those of you who are familiar with Passion Park, we used to run a showcase. For a year, we ran a comedy and music showcase. I was the host. Sometimes I'd perform. And then I had a friend of mine who was a comedian. He would handle some of that. So on our homepage of the website, it says submit to perform. You can still do that if you're interested in performing because we're interested in running more events. And actually, I've been talking with a couple of my associates, I'll say, friends, people who I do work with recently. And we're talking about trying to, maybe bring back, the show was called The Passion Park Experience. We're talking about maybe bringing it back to life, if we can all agree on who's going to do what jobs and the booking and all that stuff. Then we were talking about bringing it back to life and, maybe more than once a month, a certain type of things. So if you're interested in that or if you want us to start running that again so maybe you can come out, please comment or let us know. Send me a message, send me an email, all that jazz. I would really appreciate it. PassionParkENT.com has all of that. What I am going to promote right now is the store, the merch store on our Passion Park website. Right at the top, it's one of the first tabs. It says store. There's a couple items on there. I mean, there's 10 items on there. Okay, so not crazy, but there's different color variations and all those things. Pretty reasonably priced, I would think. But it's really helps us if you're interested in any of our merch. That would mean a lot. You can also buy a physical copy of my first album, Preacher's Son. That's the only album that I've made physical copies for. There's a full booklet in there. There's thank yous. There's all the notes about who wrote, who did everything, who engineered on all the records. So it's a full booklet that I put together, a couple years back when it came out in 2015. So that's still available. Next year will be the 5-year anniversary of that, so that'll be pretty cool. I was thinking about maybe doing an anniversary show, maybe just re-performing the whole album, something like that. I don't know. But you can get so much more tees, so much more hoodie, the basic just Passion Park tees, hoodies, anything like that. The dad hats that are really popular now, I wear that all the time. So yeah, please check it out. Go to passionparkent.com/store. And then also, if you hit the More tab, we have a bunch of affiliates. If you shop through any of those, there's like a CBD one for Diamond CBD, who I promote all the time. There's Splice. There's a couple other ones. If you use any of those banners, just shop on our website for those, and then you will get we'll get a cutback if you shop and buy anything. So that's really important for us. So we appreciate all of your support. No immediate show dates to promote right now, but I'm working on some potential stuff for the future here. And if there's a city that you want to see me in, or if there's anything that any type of show, or anybody wants to book me, just hit me up, hit me a comment, anything like that. It'd be really cool. It'd be cool to hear from you guys directly. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's all the housekeeping stuff I got. That's all. We're gonna get into the show. Let's get into the mother frickin' show. Okay, so like I said, it's a sports one like we usually do. But before we get into that, and before I get into my picks per usual, I have one cool thing that I didn't think of the idea, but I wrote down my list. Since we're coming to the end of the decade of the 2010s, 2010 to 2019. 2020 is about to start. January 1st is a couple weeks away already, which is just kind of mind-blowing to think about. But so a lot of these like top 10 lists of the decade, those type of things are starting to come out, which is it's a fun topic to go about. Since I'm a musician myself, hip hop in particular, and I do these things, I thought I'd start this out. So throughout the month of December, I think I should just do top 10 lists. I think that's how a good way to start out the episode. I'm gonna start though this one with top 10 albums of the decade. Now I want to start by saying this is my top 10 albums of the decade. So it's like the albums that I listened to the most or affected me the most, or just I really stand out from these years in my life. Which for anybody who's wondering, I'm 29 right now, so I turned 30 next year. So, I mean, these were the 20 to 30s. Literally, the 2010s were my 20 to 30s. That's exactly what it is for me. So that's kind of where this music lines up for me. Some of it was college. Some of it was just out of college. And some of it was me, becoming an artist myself. Actually, a lot of it, most of this is me becoming an artist myself, too. And there's also a couple that you would say aren't technically albums, but they pretty much are. And you'll understand what I'm saying when I get to that. But here are my top 10 albums of the decade. All right. This is no particular order, by the way. I didn't order them. I feel like maybe I should order them, but I didn't. Maybe, we'll talk about it. If this was an order, this honestly probably would be number one. It's the one I wrote first, and it makes the most sense because it's the one I listened to the most. I still listen to it now. And that would be Take Care by Drake. That album... I don't know. It's R&B and hip hop. I mean, there's a lot of slower ballads on there. It won Grammy for Best Rap Album of the Year, I believe, when that came out. That album is great to me. It's probably my favorite in his discography, even though he's got a bunch of other hits that aren't on that. But that album just really stands out to me. I listen to it all the time. I mean, just to start, Over My Dead Body and then right into Shot For Me. Just like that right there. I listen to that shit all the time. So Drake, Take Care might be my number one, like I said, or, it's up there. Another one that I meant to write down, but I didn't. I don't actually have it on here, but I meant to write it down, so I guess I'll be saying 11. Is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I didn't realize that was 2010. I thought that was 2009, but that was 2010. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That album just has so many hits and just was so revolutionary for a lot of this sound that we're hearing now. So I mean, kind of always ahead of the curve with that stuff. All right, I'm gonna keep this going. So here's another album that it probably wasn't the craziest of popular, but it was pretty popular. He's a huge artist, Isaiah Rashad and TDE. But Sylvia Demo, his first project, I listen to that project constantly. It's phenomenal, just sonically. I mean, just everything about it. I really love that project, and I just have so many memories listening to it when I was trying to create my own sound and music in my old apartment right out of college in my basement studio that I made. And just that album, I was listening to it all the time. So Sylvia Demo. We're going to keep this going with my main man J. Cole, who's one of my biggest influences for sure, one of my favorite artists. I'm sure a lot of people would say that, but a really big influence on me. 2014 Forest Hills, just a great album. Love Yours is one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. Probably it just has a lot of meaning to me. So I should name off some songs that mean the most to me. But I don't know. I just think of Love Yours and then I think of The Prayer by Kid Cudi, which is not involved in this list, but I just think of those two songs. All right. And speaking of Cudi, we're gonna keep this moving. The album that makes the list for me on here is Man on the Moon 2, because that album came out when I was in college. I just remember getting baked and listening to that in our college house. That album is just it's like creepy, the aura, but then like Cudi's the shit. He's also one of those guys who's one of the biggest influences on me. I'm just a huge fan of Kid Cudi. So Man on the Moon 2, I mean Marijuana, Mr. Rager, Erase Me. I mean that album, woo, love it. All right. Keeping this list going, I got from Hova, who just turned 50 and just finally released his whole discography on Spotify, which is pretty nice. 444. So his Grammy-nominated project that came in. It's interesting because it's like such a different angle from his career for this album. It's like and he's like an educator. He's older. He's just being a wise OG, but it's such a good project. So 444. I remember when that came out, I was listening to that a lot. So that is definitely on my list. And then keeping this thing moving, Because the Internet, Childish Gambino, 3005. That album it has some symbolic meaning to it as well for me. I mean, I love Childish Gambino, and I was listening to his music a lot back then. Oakland on that album. That's probably my favorite song from that album, actually. Oakland. I listen to that all the time. But also because I opened up for Childish Gambino at the Rave in Milwaukee. It was on this tour for Because of the Internet, and that show was sold out, and like there was a huge crowd, and it was just a great time. And so I guess it just means a lot to me too. I just remember it. But I was listening to this project so much when it came out too. Also a Grammy nominee. So there's something there. All right. I'm gonna keep this list going. So these two ones that I'm about to say are the same artist, but I just have to mention both of them. I listen to a lot of them, and they're just so impressive. Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City. I mean I bought that when it came out. I still have the hard copy of it. I have it right here in my office. It's just so impressive. It's a fucking movie. Like I listen to that project so much, and you envision it. It's like a movie. It's so good. So Kendrick, and then he does the same thing with Damn. It's different because they don't use the narrative like Good Kid does, where it's like a story of a day and stuff like that. Oh, crazy day. Damn is just more like mind-boggling and like how it all goes together and shit. Damn is I can't leave those out, and like I couldn't really choose, so I just put both. Because technically, since I added Beautiful Twisted Fantasy, right now we're at 9. That would be the 9 on my top 10. But I have 2 more projects that I have to say. They were both technically mixtapes and not albums, but like they're all original. They're fucking albums. It just like it was that weird gray period where people didn't know what to call, and it kind of still is that a little bit. But first off, I'm gonna say Macadelic from Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. But that project, that was kind of like a switch up for him. He was like this innocent, like, I don't want to say innocent, but he was like, more like Golden Boy kind of rap type shit. And then Macadelic just got kind of dark and just creepy and drugged out. But it was like so dope. I just remember us bumping that shit crazy in college, or right out of college, whatever that was. I just remember younger. So Macadelic. And then finally, I mean, this probably would be 1A if I could do a 1 and 1A. I said Take Care is probably my number 1. This would probably be number 1A, but it's technically not an album. I get it, but I don't give a shit. This is an album. This shit could have won a Grammy in my opinion. Cushion OJ, Wiz Khalifa, baby. That project changed my life. That shit was so amazing. I just want to look for certain to say the fucking date that bitch came out. Yeah, see, it's still listed as a mixtape, but it's April 14th, 2010. So yeah, it just makes the cutoff barely, but I feel like they should change it to an album by now. It should be on every. I don't know. It's just that shit is amazing, man. Cushion OJ shaped a lot of my younger, 20s, I'd say, for sure. Because just Wiz in general, like that's when he was taking over the game, and he's still around killing it. So man, I'm a huge fan of Wiz. So yeah. So like I said, if I had to give a 1 and 1A or just 2 number 1s, my top 2 projects that I listened to probably the most over these 10 years, I gotta say Take Care, Cushion OJ. Yeah, but then all those other ones I said, they're all together for me, man. Sylvia Devo, they're all on there. But that was my list. I'll post this list written as well, for you all, so you can read it out too. But yeah, there it is, guys. There it is. I had fun putting that list together. It made me relive a lot of those moments with that music and stuff like that. So that was awesome. Let's keep it moving. Let's get into the sports segment. That was our entertainment portion of the show, as we usually do up top, and now we're gonna do some sports stuff. Whoop whoop whoop. Holla. All right. So I wanted to get into some basketball first before we get into the NFL picks, which is fun. I mean, we have a fun game tonight. As I mentioned, it's a Bears game day. But first of all, let's just talk hoops. Well, in my personal life, I know I mentioned a rec league story before. We had the playoffs for that rec league that I was in. My career is over, God damn it. My career is over. We lost by 1 on Monday night. We missed a free throw with 5 seconds left. I say we because it's a team game. I didn't miss the free throw, but it's a team game. So we, the team, missed a free throw, 2 free throws actually with 5 seconds left. So we lost by a point. But my rec league career here on that team in Chicago is done. But it's all good. I had a decent game. I hit a couple big shots. I hit the shot that took the lead before they took the lead back. And then I hit a couple threes, you know what I'm saying? I hit a three to tie the game, hit a three to take the lead again, I hit another shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say I played okay. I didn't play great. I played all right. But we lost, so who gives a shit? But on real hooping terms, more to the NBA side of things today. First off, we have to mention Carmelo winning the Player of the Week. I don't even think I brought up the fact that Carmelo got signed by the Blazers last week, which was a cool story, and to have Carmelo back in the league. But not only did he get signed, but he had a really good weekend, a couple good games. He played really well against the Bulls here in Chicago, and he won Player of the Week. I said this to actually one of my teammates. I was like, you know, that's dope that he won the award, but I kind of feel like it was like a Twitter award. Like, it's like all this reaffirmation for Melo. It's like, yeah, shout out to Melo. And I'm sure he did have great numbers, but I can't imagine that somebody else in the West didn't have some amazing numbers that are probably better. I mean, just somebody. I mean, in the West, there's always somebody with some freakish numbers. Either way, congrats to Carmelo. He has been playing really well. He should be in the league. I mean, he's proving that. He's also on almost the perfect team for him because the Blazers play the most ISO ball in the NBA. They're really struggling. They're not nearly where they should be or were predicted to be. I mean, last year they were in the Western Conference Finals, which is wild. But they need to pick it up. But Melo is fitting in with them because they have this ISO ball. Melo already has that ISO game. So he seems to be fitting in pretty well with them. But that's pretty cool. Other NBA news that I wanted to talk about real quick. The Bucks are just absolutely dominating the NBA. They're 19-3. They've won 13 in a row. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they don't win 60 games this year at the very least. But I mean, the question about the Bucks isn't whether or not they're gonna have a good regular season, especially as long as Giannis will be there. I think as long as Giannis will be in the NBA. Really, the question is never about whether or not he's gonna have a dominant season or whether or not they're gonna have a good season. The question is gonna be about how far can they take this, in the playoffs. Can they win a championship with Giannis being the best player? I think they probably can. They just need to fill in the rest of the team, but. I mentioned before when I made my NBA MVP predictions, I predicted LeBron would be, and I'm still going to stick with that since I said it, but there's a good chance Giannis wins his back-to-back MVPs because he's having just an absolute dominant start to the season. I'm curious to see how long they can keep this streak going. I don't know. I'd have to look at their opponents coming up here. I don't know who they're playing next, but 13 in a row, they can beat any team in the league, and they have that kind of mentality that they come out and really, try every game. Like you can tell some teams in the NBA don't give it all every game. Like the Bucks really seem to just they don't really have nights where they're just lagging. They seem to really bring it, which says a lot about coaching. Actually, my brother and I were talking about this. So Connaughton on the Bucks, he went to Villanova. Brogdon on the Mavs went to Villanova. Connaughton went to Notre Dame. Sorry, DiVincenzo went to Villanova. The point we were trying to make is a lot of these Villanova players who come out are just good. They're just good, solid NBA players who get to play right away. They might not be the superstars, but they just know how to play. So point being is Jay Wright doing his thing over there at Villanova. Shout out to him. And real quickly in the college basketball world, shout out to the DePaul Blue Demons who have been taking Chicago by storm. They got a big win last night against Texas Tech. It looked rowdy over there at DePaul, at the DePaul Stadium. What's it called again? I forgot the new arena. I can't remember what it's called. Wintrust Arena? Yeah. But it looked like it was getting crazy over there. So it's exciting time here in Chicago. They're 9-0 to have DePaul, to have some good college basketball in the city. That's exciting. And then before we get out of the NBA topics real quick, I gotta bring this up because it happened yesterday and it was kind of all over. That LeBron travel. Did you guys see this? I mean, there's been a lot of these crazy NBA travels where the refs just aren't even looking and the guys are traveling. LeBron was dribbling up the court. As if he was carrying the ball and going to dribble again, just let it sit in his palm, started walking forward, looked around, started dribbling again. It was amazing. It was dude, this is one of the best players of all time, and he had this mental lapse. They didn't call it travel, which is more mind-boggling. LeBron after was yeah, that was the worst thing I've ever done in my career. It was a lapse in judgment. He was I apologize to the refs who are going to probably get fined because they missed that. I don't know how I missed that. Weird stuff, but I can't not bring it up. It was so, I've seen terrible ones on the fast breaks. Fast breaks, I feel like the NBA refs are just look, you're wide open on the break. You're going to get a layup. Just lay it up. We're not even worried about if you're traveling. You're trying to do something fancy for the fans. I feel like they just allow those to go. And frankly, those ones to me don't bother me nearly as much because like I said, it's an open court. You're going to get the bucket if you just do a normal layup, but you are trying to entertain fans and do all these things. That doesn't bother me as much when you let those go. The ones like this are just crazy. It looked like LeBron was about to say check ball, at the top of the key. He was bringing it up. He's just check. That was wild. But LeBron, baby, whatever. He's LeBron. So as good as the Bucks are, they're 19-3. The Lakers are amazing. They're right in that same ballpark. So we have pretty much the clear-cut favorites for the NBA right now. It's the Lakers, Clippers, and the Bucks, it looks like. Those three teams are definitely going to be there at the end of the year. And the East-wise, I don't know if he's going to compete. I can't speak. Compete with the Bucks. I mean, you would have to think the Sixers, they just aren't looking as good as they've been. But, I mean, they'll be around because they got so much talent. Yeah. All right. That's my NBA talk. I got nothing to talk about with the Bulls. I got nothing. Not today. Nothing big. Whatever. Let's keep it moving. Let's do some football stuff. All right. We're going to do some picks. We're going to do all that jazz. Bears. Bears got another win. So they're 6-6, and they're playing the Cowboys tonight, who are also 6-6. It was a nice win for the Bears. On Thanksgiving Day to have them come out and get a close victory over the Lions. It was nice in Detroit. Now the Lions did have their third string quarterback, which begs the question is why was it so hard for us to get the victory? But he actually looks pretty good. Blau, I believe is his name. I like that the Lions traded for this third string quarterback who's a rookie because in the preseason they played against him on the Browns and they liked what they saw from him. They liked something they saw from him, so they're like, let's trade for him, make him third string, and just develop him. I mean, dude, I like that a lot. That just means that they have good quarterback scouts who are looking at these things. I just feel like the Bears never do shit like that. Who are their quarterback scouts? What the fuck is going on? But with that being said, Mitch has been playing well or better the past couple of weeks. Our Mitch bar is, different than everybody else's. But he has been playing pretty well. I mean, I thought against Detroit on Thanksgiving, he made a lot of big plays with his legs and just on the scramble, making some throws. So I thought he looks like he's coming along a little bit. So I'm happy to see that. So we gotta hope he does that again tonight because the Cowboys are the league's number one offense, which is interesting because they're only 6-6, but they can never seem to put it all together. Now the Bears have a great defense, and we're here in Chicago, so so you would think we can hold their offense a little bit, but they're a very skilled offense, so it's going to be interesting. I, for one, believe the Bears can do it. We pretty much got to win out to make the playoffs. I mean, you got to go 10-6, and you got to beat the Vikings and the Packers and the Cowboys and the Chiefs. So very tough, but you got to do it, and it starts tonight. And let's get into our picks. Let's do it. With all that being said. All right, so Cowboys, Bears. The Cowboys are favored, even though we're here. I mean, I like everything I just said. Dallas is the number one offense. Everybody just thinks they have more talent. They're also America's team, so people just love them. So Dallas is getting 2.5. They got to win by at least 3 here in Chicago. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. We're going Bears on that all day, baby. Go Bears. I'd say the Bears can win by, I'm going with the Bears tonight. 23-16. Yep, Bears 23-16. I should mention also my last week's picks. I did pretty good. I got 10 right. So I was happy with how many I got right, but I still finished, I think, in second because somebody got 12 or 13 right. So they did very well. So I can't get another win. God damn it. I'm hoping to do that. But yeah, I mean, I got 10 right. It's not like I'm doing terribly. I think I'm in 5th place or something like that for the overall league. So that's not bad. All right, let's keep it moving. Carolina versus Atlanta. This is Atlanta is getting 2.5, so they got to win by 3. They are in Atlanta. Carolina just fired Ron Rivera, which is a big deal. He was a huge figure for them. He took them to the Super Bowl. He won 3 straight divisions. He's also just a great dude. He used to be here in Chicago. I like Ron Rivera a lot. So I don't know if that it's gonna be a good thing or a bad thing for Carolina. If they're gonna come out and play great because of it. Atlanta's got to win by 3, though. I think I'm going to go with Carolina on this. Christian McCaffrey has a big game. Maybe they do something. All right, Ravens, Bills. They're in Buffalo. This is a great game because the Ravens are 10-2 and the Bills are 9-3. Nobody believes the Bills at 9-3. I mean, they were just playing the Cowboys last week, who are were 5-6 or no, were 6-5 at the time, and they were favored even though the Bills are having a great year. The Cowboys should not have been favored in that game, and the Bills proved that. The Ravens have to beat the Bills by 6. So with all that being said about the Bills being good, I'm going to go with the Ravens. I just can't go against Lamar, and I think they'll win by a touchdown. So I got to go Ravens over Bills. Bengals, Browns. Cleveland's got to beat the Bengals by 9. They're getting 8.5. They're in Cleveland. Cincinnati finally got a win last week, which wasn't good for me, actually. That was one of the losses that I had in the league. But Cincinnati got a win. They're 1-11 now. Cleveland's got to beat them by 9. Baker Mayfield's been... I believe he's banged up. He's not really playing much. He's gonna play though. I think he just wasn't practicing. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. Cleveland's 5-7. They're really trying to stay alive here. I'm gonna go with Cleveland in this scenario. So they're gonna win that game by double digits. Man, I don't. That's Cincinnati could keep it closer. No, I think Cleveland's gonna do it. Okay. Denver versus Houston, another fat spread, and I hate these fat spreads. They're in Houston. Houston's got to win by 10. It's a 9.5 point spread. Denver's got this rookie quarterback, Drew Lock, played last week. Played decent, and they won. I mean, they're 4-8 right now. So they got to keep it somewhat close against Denver. And I don't think they will. I mean, I don't like doing this, taking two as fatty ones, but I'm going to do it. I think the Texans are going to win. They're going to beat the Broncos. A little bigger. Drew Lock will make a mistake, and that'll be the difference. Maybe a pick six or something like that. We got a division game. This is a big one. Lions-Vikings. The Vikings got to win this by 14. They're in Minnesota. We need the Lions to win, and because of that, I'm going to pick the Lions. But I also think they can keep it within 14. Like I said, Blau is not bad. The Vikings had a tough loss against the Seahawks on Monday night, but that's a huge for us because now they're 8-4. We need them to lose again to fall to 8-5. We need them to get 6 losses, obviously. So I'm going to go with the Vikings to keep that or the Lions to keep that within 2 touchdowns. Redskins versus Packers. Man, we have a bunch of fat spreads this week, a bunch of blowouts predicted. Green Bay has got to beat Washington by at least 13. 12.5 point spread. They're in Green Bay. Oh, Washington sucks. Drew Haskins, he's coming along. He doesn't look great yet. I am going to go with... I'm going to go with the Packers. They're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Rodgers will have a big game. I don't know. They'll just do it. They don't even look that great, but they won easily against the Giants last week. They'll do it. Actually, I had Rodgers in FanDuel and won me some money because he had a big game. So, whatever. Go Bears. All right. Colts, Buccaneers. The Colts are looking to stay above 500. They're 6-6. The Buccaneers are 5-7. They can still finish 9-7. Didn't even realize that really. Tampa Bay's favored to win this. They got to win by 3, 2.5. They are in Tampa Bay. Jacoby Brissett has not looked very good. I'm actually going to go with Tampa Bay on this. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to beat the Colts on this. I've been picking the Colts, and he's been kind of upsetting me, so I'm going to go against that. So Tampa Bay. Miami versus the Jets. Wow, what a barn burner, said nobody. The Jets got to beat the Dolphins by 6, 5.5 is the spread. They're in New York. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, man. Fitz magic, baby. The Dolphins got a crazy win last week. Dolphins over the Jets. Niners, Saints. Both teams 10-2. This is probably the game of the weekend. This is awesome. They're in New Orleans. New Orleans got to win by 2.5 or by 3, which basically you get 3 when you're at home. So this is basically an even cut. Nobody knows who's going to win this. This is tough. I'm going to go with the Niners. I think I'm going to go with the Niners on this. Chargers, Jaguars in Jacksonville. Minshew's going to be the quarterback the rest of the season, and that should have been the case because Foles looks like shit. But he got paid, so good for him. The Chargers got to win by at least 3. And they're in Jacksonville. I'm gonna take Minshew magic, baby. I'm going with Jacksonville. I'm taking Minshew and that stash. I like it. Titans Raiders. This is a big game. The Titans are 7-5. Raiders are 6-6. Titans are favored by 2.5, even though they're in Oakland. So Titans got to win by 3 on the road. And I think they will. Tannehill's been playing well. Derrick Henry's really good. The Raiders, I don't know. They haven't looked that good the past couple weeks. Not that they are that good, but they had been playing well, and they've been kind of dying off. All right, so we got a couple left here. This is another big game for the weekend. Maybe this is the game of the weekend. Who knows? Chiefs, Patriots. They're in Foxborough. New England's got to win by 4. 3.5 is the spread. I, though, am going to go with the Chiefs because I think as good as the Patriots defense is, I think Mahomes makes a couple big plays, and they get a couple scores, and the Patriots offense struggles to score a lot of points. Now, the Chiefs defense isn't great, but still, I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this. I'm going to take the Chiefs on this. They're 8-4. They need to bunch up some wins here. So I'm going to do that. All right, Steelers, Cardinals in Arizona. Steelers are favored by 3. Mike Tomlin's too good of a coach. They're 7-5. They're trying to stay in the hunt. Mike Tomlin's too good of a coach to allow this one to be a slip-up. They will win this game by more than 3. So I'm taking the Steelers. Seahawks, Rams in L.A. Seahawks are favored by 1.5. So Seahawks got to win by 2. This is basically this is very close. And I'm going to go with they will. I mean, they're 10-2. man, they really are having a great year. I think the Seahawks will beat the Rams, though. I just am not impressed with the Rams. Also, I just need the Rams to lose. As a Bears fan, we need the Rams to lose. So we're going to go Seahawks. All right, and finally, our Monday night game. Nobody really gives a shit, but Eagles fans do because they matter. They're in the playoff hunt. They're favored to win by 8.5 in Philadelphia against the New York Giants. But Eli Manning is playing instead of Danny Jones, the rookie. So that's an interesting curveball to be thrown there by the Giants. I don't think it's going to do much. I mean, he's been out for a while. He might come in, just the energy of having him in there. Maybe they'll get, something riled up there. I don't know. But Philly's got to win by 9. They need this game for any hope. They're pretty much they're in it because the Cowboys suck. The Philly needs this for any hope. So I'm going to go with they got to win by 9 though. I don't like that. But they will. Yeah, they will. All right. It's going to be Philly. It's going to be 31 Philly. 31 Philly. 20. 31-20. 31-20 Philly over the Giants. And I submit that, and that is in, baby. All right, that is my Week 14 picks. Can you believe it? The year is already almost up. It's crazy. I appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of The David Lopez Show. I will keep them coming with you every week. I hope you all enjoy your weekends, enjoy your weeks. Until next time, I will be back, and I'll have another fun top 10 list to talk about next week. Maybe we'll do movies. I don't know. Yeah, I think movies would be appropriate, or maybe shows. I don't know. We'll bunch it all together, but we'll talk about it. I hope you all enjoy your weeks. Get some holiday shopping done. I haven't done any of that shit, but all of that stuff. Keep it going. Be productive. Stay positive. Stay happy, and listen to The David Lopez Show. Go to passionparkent.com. Go to thedavidlopez.com. One love, guys. Appreciate you.